Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another banging episode of Talking That Nonsense with your host, me, Michael. Looks like we're on our 73rd installment of Talking That Nonsense. Never in my wildest dreams, people. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about poetry. Because poetry. Because why not? Who doesn't like good old-fashioned poetry? Who doesn't like the deep and meaningfulness of poetry? Me personally. So I'm gonna read the Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. And then I have actually my own, uh, I guess, poetry segment, or whatever you want to call it. My own bit of poetry that I ended up writing. This is back from August of 2023, and I haven't touched it in a long time. So I think I'm going to, read that. And I have a couple more, I guess, poems from people I want to read. And then after that, we're just going to sit there and talk about poetry and, what I guess that poetry means, to me, what the poetry means to me. So, first, I am going to find my actual poetry thing. So, let's see. Here it is. So, I guess my bit of, my snippet of poetry is called "That There Is a Noise" by Michael Reddick. Yeah, it's a little funny, little goofy to me, and some might even argue that it's not even poetry, but I believe poetry is what you believe poetry is. I don't care if it's one line, heck, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, but I guess on one hand, there are certain things that constitute what a piece of poetry is. Like, oh well, for poetry to be poetry, it has to have three lines of this and that. Nah, a word could be poetry. I don't even, I can't even think of a word, but yeah, but that's our poetry for today. Now, but that there is a noise. Let us start it off. One night, dark and dreary, one noise was quite eerie. To my dismay, I was not hearing the knock, knock, knock on my bedroom door. I jumped out of bed as quick as a flash. There was a shadow behind me, so I doubled back. Nothing to be found, I slowly approached my door. Eager eyes plastered on my face. Opening the door, there was a cold breeze to hit me in my face. My eyes watered. I stopped and listened, stared at the dark, and it was all but empty hallway, so I continued to stare until I saw something that was not there. I heard a settled breathing and footsteps from the downstairs. Something cold ran down my neck. I felt the palm of a stranger on my shoulder. I slowly closed my door, got back underneath my covers, and closed my eyes to sleep. But alas, my bedroom door began to crack open. A chilling breeze ran up my spine. As I began to fall unconscious, a small figure emerged. I took the last look at my bedroom, and before falling unconscious, I became aware that there is noise. Epic, right? No. Thanks. But that was like the only bit of poetry I ever really wrote, and I guess like at the beginning, maybe like the one night dark and dreary. I guess I took a little bit of inspiration from the Raven almost, if I can recall what the Raven. Funny enough, we're going to be looking at the Raven today. We're going to be reading about the Raven today. I also had some other bits of poetry, but now that I'm done with my segment of poetry, we're going to move on to the telltale heart. Let's see. It looks to be a lot, so bear with me. I guarantee you I'm going to fumble over my words, and I don't mean to, but you guys know how it is. Usually my mouth moves faster than my brain, so I believe with just nice, calm coolness, I believe I'll be able to get past this story, and we can move on to our next segment. All right. The telltale heart. True nervous, very, very dreadful. Nervous I had been and am, but why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all the senses of hearing acute, I heard all things in heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hikarin? And what the heck? Hear, Corinne? Yeah, and observe how healthily, how calm I can tell you the whole story. It is impossible to say how the first idea entered my brain, but once convinced, it haunted me day and night. Object there was none, passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me he never gave me insult. For he is gold, and I have no desire. I have no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this one of his eye, resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue eye, with a film over it. With a film over it. So it was a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. So, and so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now, this is the point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing, but you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, in what caution, with what foresight, with what with what dismutilation I went to work. I was never kinder to an old man than during the whole week before I killed him. Every night about midnight I turned the latch of his door open, oh so gently, and then, when I had made an opening, significant, when I made an, when I made an open, significant from my head, I put in a dark lantern and closed so that no light shone out. And then I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. How I thrust in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening, so far that I could see him as he lay upon the bed. Ha! What would a madman have been so wise as this? And then my head was well in the room. I undid the lantern cautiously, for the hinges creaked. I undid it just so that a single ray fell upon the vulture eye, and then thus I did for several long nights, every night, just at midnight, but I found the eye was always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye, and every morning, when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquired how he had passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man indeed to suspect every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he slept. Pretty good so far. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. Never before the night had I felt the extent of my own powers. I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph to think that there I was opening the door little by little, and he had not even to dream of my secret dreads and thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me, for he moved on the bed suddenly, as if he was startled. Now you may think that I drew back, but no. His room was black as pitch, with a thick darkness, for the shutters were closed and fastened. Though the fear of robbers, and so I knew he could not see the opening of the door, and I kept pushing in steadily. I had my head in, and I was about to open the lantern, and then my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening. Yeah, fastening. The old man sprung up in the bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I kept quiet. I kept quite still and said nothing. For a while, for a whole hour, I did not move a muscle. And in the meantime, I did not hear him lie down. He was just still standing up in the bed, still sitting up in the bed, listening, just as I have done night after night, heartaching to death. Yeah, yeah, hurricane, hurricane. Yeah, yeah, hurricane. I think hurricane, hurricane. No, 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 no. We're gonna get this figured out, y'all. Watch this. No, 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 no. Watch this. Watch this. Hearken. 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 Anyway, back to business. Let's see. Let's see if I find it. Hearkening to the death watches in the walls. Presently, I heard a slight groan, and I knew it was the groan of a mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or grief or oh no. It was a low, sifting sound that arises from the bottom of the soul when overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well many nights, just at midnight, when all the world slept. It was welled up from my own bosom, deepening with dreadful echo and terrors that distracted me. I say I knew it well. I knew what the old man felt. I pinted him, I think. Pinted? 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 It better be pinted. Is it pinted? Pity. Yeah, pitied. I'm freaking stupid. You gotta watch your language, Michael. Anyway, it's pitied. It just looked weird. Because the font looks weird, okay? But I pitied him. I pitied him. Although I chuckled at heart, I knew he had been lying awake ever since the first slight noise. When he had turned in the bed, his fears had been ever since growing upon him. He had been trying to fancy them causeless, but could not. He had been saying to himself, "It is nothing but the wind in the chimney. Nothing but the wind. But nothing but the wind in the chimney. It is only a mouse crossing the floor. It is merely a cricket which has made a single chirp." Yes, he had been trying to comfort himself with these. Yeah, this old man. This old man really doesn't want to be wrong. No, he doesn't want to be right. All in vain. All in vain, because death, in approaching him, had stalked him with his black shadow before him and enveloped the victim, and it was the mournful influence of unperceived shadow that caused him to feel, although he had neither saw nor heard, to feel the presence of my head within the room. When I had waited a long time, very patiently, without hearing him lie down, I resolved to open a very, very little crevice in the lantern. So I opened it, and you cannot imagine how stealthily, until a length of slight dim ray, like a thread of a spider, shot from out the crevice and fell upon the vulture's eye. It was open, wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all a dull blue with a hideous veil over it, the very marrow in my bones, but that I could see nothing else but the old man's face or person, for I had directed the ray, as if by instinct, precisely upon the dimmed spot. upon the damn spot. Damned upon the damn spot. Dude, this is still going. And now, have I not told you that what you mistake for madness, but over cuteness of the sense? And now I say that, and now that I say there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew the sound well too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury as the beating of a drum simulates the soldier in courage. But when yet I refrained and kept still, I scarcely breathed. I held the lantern motionless. I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray upon the eye. Meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, I say, louder every moment. Do you mark me well? I have told you that I'm nervous, so I am, and now, at the dead hour of night, amid the dreadful sense upon the dreadful silence of the old house, so strange a noise as this excited me to uncontrollable terror. Yet, for some minutes longer, I refrained and stood still. But the beating grew louder. I thought the heart must burst. And now I knew anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and leaped into the room. He shrieked once, only once. In an instant, I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. Then I smiled greedily, to find the deed so far done. But then, for many minutes, the heart beat with a muffled sound. This, however, did not vex me. It would not be heard through the wall. At the length it ceased. The old man was dead. I removed the bed and examined the corpse, and yes, he was stone dead. I placed my hand upon his heart and held it there many minutes. There was no pulsation. He was stone dead. His eyes would trouble me no more. If you still think me mad, you will still think so no longer. When I decided the wise precautions I took for the concealment of the body, the night waned, and I worked hastily, but in the silence. First of all, I dismembered the corpse and cut off the head and the arms and the legs, then took up the 3 planks from the flooring of the chamber and deposited them all between the scatolings. No. I'm really outing myself today as illiterate. Watch this. Scatling. Oh, scatling. I said it right. No, I didn't. Shut up, Michael. Scatling. Scatolings? Yes, scatling. And then I replaced the board so cleverly and so cunningly that no human eye, not even his, could even detect anything wrong. There was nothing to wash out, no stain of any kind, no blood spot whatsoever. I had been too wary for that. A tub had been caught. A tub had caught all. When I made an end of these labors, it was 4 o'clock, still dark as midnight. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking on the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart. For what had I now to fear? There entered 3 men who introduced themselves as Police officers. City police, police officers, as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Information had been yeah, yeah. Information had been logged at the police office, and the officers, had been been puted to search the premise. I smiled. For what I had to fear, I bade. Yeah, I bade. I can't read. I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. Okay, it's bade, right? It better be bade. Ross, we're learning words today, people. Watch this. Bid. Are you kidding? Bid. That doesn't look like bid. Is that bid? Dude, it's bid. I bid the gentleman welcome. A shriek, I said, yeah. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bid them search. No, that can't be bid. That doesn't look like bid. Dude, that's wild. So it's bid. I don't believe it's bid, but apparently it's bid. Yeah, I bid them. I bid them search well. I led them a length to his chamber. I showed them these treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought the chairs into the room and desired them here to rest their fatigue, and while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the victim. Which reposed the corpse of the victim. The officer was satisfied, but my manner had convinced them. I was singularity of singularly at ease. I swear. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chattered of familiar things. But eerie long, I felt myself getting pale and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But still they sat and still chattered. The ringing became more distant, and I continued to become more distant. I talked more freely to get rid of the feeling, but it continued and gained decisiveness. Not decisiveness. Oh my god. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. See, I end up second guessing myself. I know how to read, I promise. So I'm taking a moment to think about what I think about this story. And they continue and gain definitiveness until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears, no doubt. Now I grew very pale, but I talked more fluently and within the heightened voice, yet the sound increased, and what I could do, it was a low, dull, quick sound. It's much, what is it? Yeah, it's quick, dull. No, it was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for a breath, and yet the officer heard it not. I talked more quickly, even more. Ben, I ain't making a fool of myself this time. Watch this. Vehemently. Who even says that? Vehemently? Bro, watch this. Vehemently. More vehemently. But then the noise steadily increased. I arose and argued about tariffs or trifles in a high key with violent. What is that? Gestillations? Dude, that looks like testicles. Wait a minute. Wait.
Gesticulation.
Gesticulation. What is that? A gesture. One say dramatic one instead of emphasize one's words. Gesticulation. Told you it looked like testicles. Well, I lost one. Okay, yeah. When with violent gesticulation, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? I paced the floor and fro the heavy strides as if I was excited to fury by one's observation of the man. But the noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting, and gated it upon the boards. But the noise arose and the noise arose over all, and continuously increased. It grew louder. And still the men chattered pleasantly and smiled. It was possibly they heard not. Almighty God, no. They heard. They suspected. They knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think, but anything was better than this agony. Anything would be more terrible than this derision. Derision? Dude, I'm getting all the words. Wait, what's this? Watch this. No, we're learning. Derision. Than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt I must scream or die, and now again, hark, louder. Villains, I shrieked. Disassemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here. It is the beating of his hideous heart. Edgar Allan Poe. January 1843. That was long. I don't know what we're doing. But we got through it. So for those who didn't really listen, thank you. But for those who didn't listen, this was basically a story about some gentleman that got sick of this old man's eyes. And basically he killed him. And then he put his body in the floorboards. And then after that, before that, he felt his heartbeat, and then no more. And then he stuffed his body in the floorboards. And then the police came over because when he was killing the man shrieked, but only once. Police come over, look through his house. The police find nothing at all. So then he takes him to the room where he off the old man. So in this room, he sat upon the spot where, the corpse lied underneath the board. So as he sat in there, as time passes, he started to hear a heartbeat. He started to hear a thump. And I guess, like I guess in that story that kind of represents, to me at least, that kind of represents like guilt and how guilt works. Because honest to God, that was guilt. Because I don't know about, it sounded like it was tearing him from the inside out. But he, in the end, as the cops were just sitting there, minding their own business and talking and whatnot, he ends up freaking out, throwing the chair, ripping over the floorboards, and being like, "It's here! It's here! It's right here!" And yeah. Yeah, man, go ahead. But yeah, that was, sorry. One of my friends in here, if you don't remember, Thomas. Yeah. Yes. But that was that. And this is this. Today we're looking at another story. One more. That's all it is. And then once that happens, I think we're going to conclude this episode. Almost. We're 31 minutes in this video. It took me that long to read that story. And I'm so sorry. And there was 3 words in there that I kind of like. I didn't say directly. I knew what the word is. I knew what it meant, but I didn't know how to pronounce it. So I ended up substituting them with synonyms. So in a way, I guess sorry, there's stuff all over my screen. But I guess I read the story, but I didn't read the story because I didn't put the whole story. And that kind of irritates me. And I'm sorry for that. So I have one more story I want to check out. It's, let's see. So this next poem, I don't know by who, but it's called Lipstick on a Pig. Or Lipstick on the Pig. I will read this poem for thee. So sweet to hear, hate to feel, what a wonderful word to tell, but nothing to sell. Say it again, very nice to paint, yet nobody has gained 1,000 truth. It said, but perhaps it could be freed. Or, but dude, I'm already messing it up. I'm reading it again. Give me a moment. So sweet to hear, hate to feel, what a wonderful word to tell, but nothing to sell. Or nothing to sell. Dude, I'm reading it again, I promise. I'm gonna calm down this time. So sweet to hear, hate to feel, what a wonderful word to tell, but nothing to sell. Say it again, very nice to paint, yet nothing has gained 1,000 truth it said. But perhaps it could be feed for whoever likes, as it said, nothing but ready to be paid. Nothing to say is good, stop it, as it said, everything is doing fine. As you are good, say it again. Glad that you had made it, for you are a person that can stand the fun that most people can't. Be on guard, the angel is always there to hold you on wherever you are on. When you think that you are almost there, and the end is near, be strong, for the angel of God catch you when you fall to the bosom arm. You stand, your precious life is safe by not saying the lipstick on a pig. I'm seeing a bunch of poems called Lipstick on a Pig, Lipstick on a Pig. Like this one. I put on makeup to look pretty, to look like someone I'm not. I wake up early to do my hair, wash my face, curl my lashes, put on makeup, just so I can get a few nice words. I don't feel pretty in my own skin anymore. I like to I like to pretend I'm someone I'm not, but when I stand in dim light of my bathroom or in the darkness of my room, when I stand in front of my mirror, I realize it's just lipstick on a pig. You know, that was Lipstick on a Pig. Last two ones, I don't really know who they were by, but you guys get the point. Poetry. Poetry is much deeper. Much deeper. I can't speak! Sorry, it's been a stressful day. I'm good. But poetry is much deeper than that. For some people, poetry means life. Some poetry can answer 1,000 questions and cause 1,000 more. Poetry is nice. But anyway, it looks like our time here has expired. Apologies for my inability to read. I've been a little bit stressed these past couple of days, so next couple of videos, if they're a bit off and I can't really get my thoughts straight, blame it on that. Anyway, looks like our time here looks like our time here has expired. I want you to go do something that you enjoy. It is now 10:11. Well, it's 10:09 at night right now because I had to go into work and do some things. Fun fact, the fast fact. If you have a day where you're not working, or a day you're not supposed to work, or a day you say you can't work, and someone from work asks if you can come in and help with something, don't do it. I ended up getting paid for it. I ended up being able to clock in and do what I need to do for them and leave. But still, honestly, don't come in. You might be saying that's more money, but don't come in. You work when you're scheduled, not when you're not. Then again, my name is Michael. I want you to go do something that you enjoy. 10:09 at night. Pretty pitch black dark outside, but it gets pretty dark. But anyway, my name is Michael. Go do something nice. Play video games. Actually, get your butt ready for bed. Because at the end of the day, nobody's more important than you. Then again, my name is Michael. You've been watching Talking That Nonsense. Same thing I've always been preaching for the past 72 episodes now. 73 now. Be good people. Have a great day, everyone. Oh yeah, first episode in 2024.